to week 10 of Woolswap. Hope you're all doing well out there and you've had a good week. And I do apologise if I sound a bit puffy today. I've just come back from a walk and I'm a little bit red in the face, but it was such a beautiful day outside. We thought we'd get our walk in early today. So then it's done and dusted. Hi, I'm Gail from Woolswap and I'm coming to you from Brisbane in Australia. And if you don't know what Woolswap is, it's a yarn swapping service that I open up every 2 months, and then I match up yarny lovers from around the world and then they exchange parcels with each other. And I've just closed the July round and I'm in the process of doing all the matches up, and then we'll be very soon in the next couple of days, hopefully maybe this afternoon, I might be able to get some out, start emailing through all the Woolswappers that joined for this round their new partner details, and then yay, you'll be able to go and check them out, contact them, and then start shopping for them. Yay, who doesn't love shopping for yarn, right? Well, me anyway. So this week I thought I just want to give a quick mention, a shout out to Amanda from Mrs. G Makes, who has she sells stitch markers, and she comes from the UK. And a couple of weeks ago I was, and hi Amanda if you're watching, because I know you are a subscriber. I put out a call because I signed up for a whole heap of advent calendars, and I've got one from Canada, one from USA, one from Australia, and I thought I'd try and get one from the UK. But anyway, Amanda contacted me and said she has an advent calendar of a different kind, and it's stitch markers. So you get 24 stitch markers, and it looks like it comes in a nice little tin box. So yeah, so I signed up, so super excited. So I'm gonna hopefully come November, December, I'll be able to share all these advent calendars with you. So super excited about that. So if you're wanting something different, go check her out. She's on Etsy. I'll put her link down below, and it's Mrs. G Makes, and her name is Amanda. So thank you very much, Amanda, and hope you're doing okay over there in the UK and you're enjoying your summer. Okay, now, so this week I thought I would try and just talk about all the things I have on my knitting needles, and I think I've got them all here and I want to try and show you all of them, hopefully if we've got time. So I counted and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things on the go. Can you believe it? I don't know. Comment below if you're like to just knit solely on the one thing and then get it finished, or comment below if you're like me, wants to cast on everything, knit a little bit of it, and then get a little bit bored with it, and then go scroll through Instagram and then see all this other new stuff, and before you know it, you've downloaded a new pattern and bought some wool, and away you go. So back into the cast on rabbit warren. So yeah, love to see what everyone does out there. Okay, the first one I want to show you is some socks. And if people know me, if anyone knows me out there, I forever and a day have knitted, and I've mentioned this before, I've always knitted my socks with double pointed needles and cuff down, because I have tried the toe up method, and just epic fail every time. And then I couldn't do the cast on, and then I finally managed the cast on, and then I'd get that horrible gap in the seams on the side. So, but I've had a win, because I can now tell you that I've knit toe up, and I think it's the needles. I have switched to using Chiagu, the red lace circulars, and I actually super excited. I've just actually bought the Chiagu case to store them in, and that's coming hopefully this next week. So next podcast I should be able to show you that. So anyway, this is my first attempt at toe up, and these are intersections, and it's out of the 52 weeks sock book that you may have seen floating around. And this one I've done the heel, the toe, and the yarn I'm using, this one is Kate Celine, and it is Superwash Merino 4-ply sock, and it's flamingo. So it's got kind of, it's red, white, variegated with a few little speckles of black. Anyway, the pattern's kind of like a little crisscross cable, which I kind of like. Well, it's kind of easy to remember. It's like a 8-row repeat. And then the heel is super cool. It's just like a little slip, short rows. I've never done one of these heels before. And you know what? Great thing about, as everyone has said before, and I don't know why I've not got on the bandwagon before, is you can try it on as you go and it fits perfectly. So super excited. I did actually knit this up and knit the hot and tie thing, and I didn't read the pattern right and got the measurements, and my foot was way too long. So I did rip it back and started it again. So this is just the first one. But yeah, I think this is going to be a go-to pattern. But yeah, the yarn is really squishy. Like I say, if you ever want to try Kate Celine's yarn, do it. It's worth. I did have to wait a long time for this yarn, but I bought it a few years back, but it is well worth the wait. So that one's called Flamingo. And yeah, I knit my socks with 2.5 is my size. I've just got a medium, small foot. So, or not small, size 7 shoes. So I just always knit the medium size in a sock pattern, and I do 2.5. And I do that with the double pointed and the circulars now. So, but yeah, these Chiago red lace, they're so good, and there's no gaps in the side. I'm super excited. I don't know if you can see that. Get that cord out of the way. Yeah. So, yahoo! I have mastered toe-up socks. It's a huge breakthrough. And you know what, with my knitting, I really like it because I think each day you can learn something new. And it's not like you're just knitting, because I remember when I was a kid, all you used to knit was scarves. I don't even think I knitted beanies back then, but scarves and jerseys, as we said in New Zealand. And that was it. Didn't really stray too far. And then I got hooked on these socks a few years back, and never looked back. So yeah, so that's my intersections is the pattern in the 52 weeks sock book. I'm going to try and, as soon as I finish this one, I'll just randomly select another pattern out of that book and start knitting, now that I know I can successfully knit toe up. So yeah, so that's work in progress number 1. Now while we're talking about socks, and do you like my little, I have a bit of a collection of enamel pins. Some of them are always knitting. This one just randomly got stuck on this bag, and it's the All Blacks. And if you don't know who the All Blacks are, they're a very famous New Zealand rugby union team. Been around for years, and they're very good at their sport. So I grew up watching every test match, and both my brothers, I've got 2 older brothers, both of them played rugby as a kid. So when I was last in New Zealand last year, I thought, I've got to get an enamel pin with the All Blacks on it. So it's a bit of a funky one. Okay, so again, I was super excited about being able to knit toe up. And if you've seen my Instagram page, you know I love scrappy knitting socks. So here we go. I've got a little pair on. So these are, so I have a jar of, I went a few months back, at the beginning of COVID, when we were all in lockdown, I went through all my yarn, and I painstakingly went through all the little minis, and I weighed every single thing. So I have a couple of jars of that weigh between 1 and 5 grams, and they're just bundled into a jar. So I just randomly next color out. So yeah, I have a jar that has the 1 to 5 grams of yarn in there, and I just randomly pick a color, any color. And then I found this really cool way of joining where you don't have to sew in the ends. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but basically what you do when you get to the end of your I'll just show you. Get to the end of the one you're knitting on, and preferably if you do it halfway through a row, you get a little loop, and then I'll just use this as an example, the little threads here. And then you put your next colour. This is not the best view to show you to do this, but I'll get in there. And you just do another little loop like that. And then all you do is you just knit, and that ties that end in, and then you just knit till you come to a little bit there, and away you go. And there's no ends, and then at the end you just cut them. So there's no sewing in the ends. Nothing worse than a little fiddly thing like that, trying to sew in all the ends. So these are, that's my scrap. And I actually have finished the mate to it, and he is here. So that's one of them. And as you can see, they're not quite going to match. They do have similar colours, but I like them like that. I like them not matched. Comment below if you like matched socks or unmatched socks. So yeah, so that's my no pattern. I've just did the Turkish cast on, and then just did the increases, and then I just did the increases for the heel flap, and then just did the short row heel, which I think I'm going to see what it's like after wearing them for a wee while, because I normally have the flat heel. And then I just did a little bit of a shorter one this time. So yeah, that's one. So half finished done. So maybe, hopefully, next time I'm on, I'll have a finished pair to show you. So that's, and these are just random, just all sock yarn, obviously, but just, I couldn't even tell you what brands of the yarns they are because they're just random, so. But scrappy socks are so fun because it's just, you don't know what it's going to look up and look like, and I can't wait to get to the next colour so you can see. So it just keeps your interest a little bit more, I find, rather than just knitting with the same colour. So that is that's work in progress. Number 2. I don't think I'm going to get through all of them today. So that's those. Right, so what have we got in here? So this is, because I live in a hotter climate, just decided to kind of make as many kind of short sleeved tops as I can, and because that way I'll be able to wear them more. So this one is called Elf Mail, and I have, forgotten who the pattern's by, but I will put it in the show notes below. So this is a short sleeve tee, and so you have like a contrast. So I've used this green, and then you have a main color, which I'm using. Is this one's one from an older one from Fiber Lily. I'm not sure if she still stocks it. And then what I'm doing is I'm just using up random. I have a whole heap of pink yarn, like lots and lots of, I've got like a whole bag here. I've got all these in my bag, lots of all different pinks. So I'm just using up the pink one in between. So basically, all you're doing here, it's like it's kind of like a moss stitch, I think. So it's basically, I don't know if you can see that pattern. So with the white color, that's a knit row, and the pink color is a knit one, purl one. Basically, that's the pattern format. And then there's a bit of obviously shaping and stuff. But I have, to be honest, unpicked this, frogged it a number of times. Just didn't like, or I've missed somewhere in the pattern because I wasn't concentrating. But it's starting to look like a top now, so I am kind of excited. And so hopefully it's going to fit. Yeah. So I have given this a bit of love. As you can see, I kind of like the, you know, the different shades. This one here, was a little bit darker, but it still had pink in it, but kind of looks all right. And this one's going to be good because it's just short sleeves. So I'll just knit a little bit down, then do a band. And the bands will be in this greeny colour. So just a fun way to use, well, I'm using it. The pattern, she just uses two, one main colour and one contrast colour, but I'm just using up all my scraps, so, because I don't want to waste any of it. Pay good money for all this yarn. Got to make sure I'm going to use every single scrap. So, yeah. Kind of like that. Hopefully it's going to fit all right once we put it on. So, it probably takes me, I don't know, about 20 minutes to knit a row. I'm not a fast knitter, I can tell you. So I mainly only knit, oops, I better put that in before I lose a stitch. I mainly knit when I get during the day and when I'm watching like Netflix or a TV series or something. And they normally go for about 40 minutes. So I find I'll knit for 40 minutes and then I'll, get up and do something else, and then, every another spare moment I very seldom knit at night time. I don't know, I find it's just tiring, and if I don't concentrate or don't have the best lighting. So yeah, I prefer to knit during the day. So that's why I'm not finishing stuff very quickly like some other people on here do, but I take pride in what I do, pleasure out of doing it. So, and the back of this has like a little, you do some short rows to make it a bit wider at the back. I'm getting used to short rows because they were a little bit scary, but there's lots of tutorials on YouTube and books and stuff. So yeah, I think this is going to be cool. So yeah, can't wait to keep playing a bit more on that, and I'll keep showing you as I go along. So that's number 3. So I'll just put all that back in there. Okay. Number 4. Let's just get rid of some other stuff down here. Number 4 is my Sunset Highway by Boyland Knitworks. Oh, crikey. Just losing all these stitches here. Now, this is my first attempt at colour work knitting. So there's a bit of a story about this too. I had a look this morning. I originally first cast this on back in September 2017. So ouch, what are we now? Crikey, nearly 3 years ago. So I cast it on, ripped it out, couldn't work out the pattern because I don't know if I'd done a top-down knit in the round before as well. And then I liked the colours I'd chosen, but yeah, didn't like the short rows, didn't know how to do them properly, so stuffed them up. So yep, so after 3 or 4 attempts, I cast it back on. And then you may remember a few episodes ago, I did show you quite a bit of this, and I was busy buying some more yarn, the main colour for it, and I was waiting for that. But the main colour turned up from Fibre Lily, and yeah, I don't know, I looked at it and went, I've made a few mistakes with the colour work, and I don't think the size is going to be right. So a few weeks back, I ripped it all out, and I was a little bit sad at the beginning, but then I think, well, you know what, again, paid good money for this, I'm not just going to leave it there and let it sit there for another 3 years, so I want to get it finished. So I made it a bigger size, I switched my needles around, and voila, I think I've got it looking okay. So I find with the colour work, I have to really pay attention to where I'm at, obviously, because if you miss a row, or I have a bad habit, I read the first line and then I'll skim through the next couple of what to do on the next rows and go, yep, got that. And then my brain goes, oh, hang on. And then I just remember the first row. And so I knit a couple rows of the first one, not realizing that the pattern's actually changed. So I don't know who else does that. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But anyway, I'm just up to, so this is 2 weeks worth, because I did solidly give this some love for about 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm finally just about up to, just about finished the colour and this is going to be my main colour. So I can't wait to get that kind of a bit more too. But I don't know, comment below if you love the colour work. I kind of like the effect. Again, not a very fast knitter, and I don't kind of hold, like I drop the yarn, each colour yarn when I'm knitting it. I just knit one at a time. I haven't mastered how to hold it in the 2 colours together in 2 hands. I haven't mastered that, but I guess if I took the time to. But again, this has got some short rows at the back to make it back, you know, go up a bit at the back, and then I think it's going to fit. But yeah. But this is my first colourwork. But if it's successful, I already have eyed up a couple of other ones of hers and of Knit Boylan Works, and Caitlin Hunter is the name, and of hers, and yeah, a couple of other ones I've seen on Instagram. So I don't know. So what's that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. I might just do one more. Well, no, I can do 2 more, I guess. Show you 2 more. 2 more. So it's getting organised here. So this is a cardigan that I'm knitting, and it's called Mayma by Pip and Pin. Pip and Pin, she's on, I'll put her details below. I have mentioned her before. And this yarn, which is so gorgeous, it's just, this is so dreamy to knit up, is from Skein, and it's their base Skein yarn. Oops, just put that so that you can see. Oh, okay. There's the yarn. And their base is El Merino, which is an extra fine superwash merino, and this is the colourway Soul. So I'm knitting up this Made Me, and it's brioche. So I've never done brioche before, but again, I think I'm gonna like it. So this is, I've only just done a little bit because again, so this is a cardigan. So I'm just in the parts, it's top down. It's in the parts where, don't look too closely because I think I have made a mistake there, but I'm just gonna leave it there. So it's like a honeycomb brioche, I think they call it. But oh, this just knits up divine. I don't know if it's the yarn and the needles. So I'm using, these are needles that I bought in Japan, and the clover. And they do say it's 4, but I've measured them since, and I think it's a 3.5 millimeter. It's just on a clear plastic. So this one I've kind of only just started. But I try. Sometimes I go through patches where just one whole day I'll just knit on the one thing, or other days I will, each time I sit down to knit, I'll knit on something else. So, because I don't know if I can just, I did knit my gridline sweater the whole time we were traveling, and yeah, I did get a bit bored with it at the end, so I did kind of like casting on every now and again. Yeah, so this is, you'll see this one for a long time because this is probably going to take me ages to knit, but it's a cardigan and it's called May Me by Pip and Pin. But the yarn is to die for. El Merino, it's so beautiful, and I just kind of like this, how this is going to knit up. So that's number 5 or 6, 5. Can't keep up, too many. And I'll just show you one last. There is, I think I have 7. I counted them before, but I'll leave the other one for next week. But this one is my pinwheel blanket, which again is using up all my scraps. So So this is the latest one I've got. So again, I have some jars where I have 5 grams to 5 to 10 grams size balls, and so this takes one each little triangle. You knit them into the little triangles and just knit round, and then join them up at the end. I'll show you one that's been joined up. Yeah, it takes 5 grams. So it's just plain knitting, whole heap of short rows, but it's kind of, this one's relaxing if you don't feel like concentrating on anything, just knitting. And if you're watching something at, on TV, or someone's talking to you, you can just knit away. Certainly don't need to concentrate to knit this one. Check out my little buzzy bee. It's kind of cute. So that's the one I'm on at the moment. So this one is you knit a light square and then a dark square. Light, dark. You could, I didn't do it, but you could grab all your stash and then just set them into, you need 8 per square, and you could take a photo and turn it into black and white, and then if you see the light ones and the dark, that makes it easier, but it just makes it contrast a bit better. And here's the ones I've got done. That one. So you basically just, when you finish, tie in all the ends and pull it through. It is a paid pattern, so I won't go too much, but yeah, if you want to, it's called the pinwheel, patchwork pinwheel, I think. I'll put the details below. So it's that one. Again, no rhyme or reason with the colours, just randomly chosen out of my, this was my first one, because you kind of get the gist of joining together, but you kind of get the gist with the colours. And this is I'm going to make up I'm just going to keep knitting until I've got enough for a throw for my bed. This one's kind of cool. That seems to be my favourite. And one more. I've got one more on the needle that needs to be sewn up, which I haven't done yet. So again, just using up all my scraps. So that one, sometimes on a Sunday, scrappy Sunday, I'll knit on that, work on that. So yeah, so that's all I've got, the knitting projects happening. So let me know in the comments below what you're working on, and yeah, if you like what you see and the content, just remember to hit that subscribe button and to share the love with Woolswap. And yeah, hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. See ya, bye.